I am completely enamored by Indian mythology. Here's Arjun saying, I don't want to fight the war. And here's Krishna saying, no, you have to fight the war. And yet he gives the most beautiful text ever, only text mankind needs. And that's what makes Krishna so special.
When Arjuna hesitated, like, it's my brothers, why will I do it? But Krishna says, that is what is right in this moment.
Correct.
So when it's needed, you have to stand up and fight for yourself. Censorship in movies.
You don't like a movie? Get out of the theater. Don't like a book? Shut the book. Don't like a painting? Leave the art gallery. Censorship is unacceptable in a democratic society.
It's the government that is taking India ahead, from demonetization to Ram Mandir to building a bridge to everything. But there's still a lot of criticism around it.
Demonetization was a disaster, was a complete disaster. He said, don't ask your girls to stay home, ask your boys to behave themselves. And I think that's good.
On today's episode of Breaking Stereotypes, we have with us someone who has created waves in politics and on the media, Mr. Tehseen Poonawalla, who is known for his fearless voice, sharp insights, and intelligence and authenticity. Tehseen has broken the barriers, challenged the norms, and changed the narrative that inspires us all, with no fear, full authenticity, honesty, and consistency. Mr. Tehseen has been a voice of change, and we are super proud to have him here today with us. Welcome to the Breaking Stereotype, where we embrace every choice, empower every thought, and encourage every individual to create a change. Presented by the SAP Media, sponsored by Dr. Sutikare Shukla's Elements of Aesthetics, and production partner Pack Studios. I'm your host, Sudakshna Chatla, founder of the SAP Media. Welcome to the show and namaste. Welcome, Tehseen. Thank you so much for your time. We see you always busy, active, and live in action. And today you're here with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me here on Breaking Stereotypes. And I want to congratulate you. This is so phenomenal. And it's phenomenal to see, women come out and do the kind of work you're doing. So many congratulations. And I'm live in action here.
Yes, absolutely. I guess with the right support, right people, women can do wonders. And you are one of them supporting me here.
Thank you. It's my privilege to be here.
Well, Tehseen, when it comes to your career, your journey, not just as a political analyst, but as you be out there on camera, there's so much that is coming from you. How do you want people to perceive you?
I don't care how they perceive me. What I care about is, am I honest to myself?
Yeah.
And can I put the right message across? It does not matter to me how people perceive me, because there are 8 billion people in the world, there are 1.5 billion people in India. Each one may perceive me differently. I am not here to satisfy their perceptions. I'm here to live my life to the best of my ability, with honesty and with happiness and with music and joy. And that's what I do.
But you do have a certain influence. And there is, like you said, you want to give the right message out there. What is that? And how do you define Tehseen?
Tehseen cannot be defined in a few words. I'm a paradox of a lot of things. Yeah. So I am out there, always giving my opinion. Yet I like to be with myself all alone. Yeah. I am out there trying to make a point on everything that I think is relevant to the future of our society and our nation. Yet at the time, I just want to recoil and spend time only with myself or my son and just chill with him. So there are so many paradoxes out there that I live with, and I seamlessly sort of bridge those paradoxes, and I'm very okay doing it. I find that it's my duty to try and get better discourse in society over better political issues, because that's my core area, right? Political issues, so better discourse. And yet at times when I see the political discourse and the way it's going, I just sort of want to withdraw also from that. So it's so many things that are yin and yang, that are different. Yeah. And within that, there's always a churning happening. There's always the evolution happening. There's always the growth that's happening. Yeah.
So it's not always black and white. There is a gray area to life.
It can never be black and white. There is gray in everything. But the thing is, I love the black and I love the white. I enjoy the black and I enjoy the white. It's not that I only want the black or I only want the white. I enjoy all of it.
So, well, like you said about, there are times when there's sunshine, there are times when it's darkness. I guess as human beings, it's hard to accept that. And it's after a certain level of finding your purpose or finding your spiritual journey or evolving as a human being, that's when you come to acceptance with what life is. And speaking about your evolvement over the years, when in your college days, when you started as a mythology student. But today, you are an atheist. You don't really believe in religion, but you're highly spiritual. You speak about Bhagavad Gita, you speak about Krishna, being a Muslim atheist.
Yeah.
Can you share a little about how this evolvement started or the journey from mythology to being an atheist?
So when I came into this room, first thing I noticed was the Bhagavad Gita that's kept here. Just for your viewers to see, there is the holy Bhagavad Gita kept here. So I noticed this was the first thing that I noticed. And this made it so happy that the energy was so positive because of this. So I was so happy. There is a lot of people think that, again, there is a paradox. How can you be an atheist and be spiritual? How can you be an atheist and want to study Indian religion, Indian culture, Indian way of life? There is no paradox. The Indian way of life accepts every different form of life.
Yeah.
I am completely enamored by Indian mythology. I love Indian mythology. I study it and I try and live by the examples, because I think if you actually study Indian mythology, it helps us in today's times.
Yeah.
And for example, Krishna, right? And I always talk about Krishna, and I always say that Krishna begins where everyone ends.
True.
Now, look at Krishna. He's fighting a war. He knows everything's going to get destructed, and yet he's smiling.
Yeah.
How can you in the middle of a war smile? And the Indian way of life is not about only renunciation and going away. The Indian way of life is about living within the world, living within whatever is there, and making a better life. And that also is spirituality, according to me. Making your life better, thereby your family's life better, thereby the area around you better, thereby your town's life better, thereby your state's life better, thereby your country's life better, thereby a better life for humanity.
Yeah.
That also is service. Why should we run away? For years, we've been told by various religious figures, you have to run away.
Yeah.
No, the Indian way of life is stay within here. And that's what makes Krishna so special. Krishna's spirituality evolves within the world that he stays.
Yeah.
He doesn't renounce the world and go away. He stays within this world. And within this world, he's the most spiritual being to have ever walked this planet. He doesn't renounce. He stays here. He actually helps other people evolve. When he gives out the Bhagavad Gita to Arjun, in the middle of a war.
Yeah.
He's not run away. He's not renounced. Here's Arjun saying, I don't want to fight the war. And here's Krishna saying, no, you have to fight the war. And yet he gives the most beautiful text ever to mankind, the only text mankind needs, in the middle of a battlefield. That is Krishna. And that is what Indian society is about. It's not about running away. It's about staying in the middle, in the marketplace, and growing, not running away from the marketplace.
I like how you kept saying Indian mythology or Indian scriptures. You did not mention it as Hindu, because we highly, I guess, out there people believe it as a Hindu book or a Hindu scripture.
We are all Indians, and the Hindu way of life is the Indian way of life. I firmly believe it.
Yeah. Like
we can follow any religion, but culturally we're all Hindus.
Yeah.
See, we're in Pune today, and we're recording this in Pune. And I often see this. In Pune, and we've just had Ganpati festival, Ganesha has just gone back. We all celebrate it.
Absolutely.
Irrespective of religion, gender, caste, we all celebrate Ganesha.
Yeah.
Ganesha is not restricted to Hinduism.
Yeah.
It's religion. It's a cultural evolution for us. Krishna is not restricted to a religion to us.
Yeah.
Krishna is for everybody.
Yeah.
Even those who don't believe in Krishna have Krishna.
Right.
Krishna's message is for everybody. So is for Ram. We have to learn from these. These are our books. If we actually learn from these books, from these stories, we can really progress as society.
Yeah.
For example, if you look at the Indian Constitution, Article 14, Article 19, right to equality, Article 14, right to free speech, Article 19, right to life and liberty, Article 21, comes from the Ramayana.
Yeah.
It all comes from the Ramayana. So we have to, our constitution is derived from there. Therefore, we say Ram Rajya.
Right.
So now, when we have this as examples, we should follow them.
And I guess all of these are the way of living life, the way of running a nation, and also the way of living as a community together. Because when Arjuna hesitated to fight and go for the war, or like it's my brother's, why will I do it? But Krishna says that is what is right in this moment.
Correct.
So when it's needed, you have to stand up and fight for yourself.
That's true. It is equally important to stand up for what is right.
Yeah.
And that's what I take from in my television debates or my political statements that I make. If I believe something is right, I will stand by it. It does not matter what people think. And it is my duty to stand by it. And it is my duty to stand up for what I believe is dharma. If I believe something is wrong, I will stand by it. If I believe something is right, even if it's by my political opponent, in which case is the BJP. I don't like the BJP politically. But if they do something right, I will stand up for what they did is right. Because that is my dharma. My dharma is to stand up for what I believe is right. Now, again, right and wrong is subjective. I do get to that. But then there is certain larger right and certain larger wrong.
Yeah.
So a larger right for society and a larger wrong. And as long as the larger right is being met, I think that it is my duty to stand up for it. Let me give you a very specific example for your people to understand. Gun down and you shoot a terrorist. You destroy him. And there may be some people who are offended. They say, look, he's human rights. We shouldn't have killed him or butchered him. True. These human rights. It is the right thing. But the larger good of society is this terrorist be eliminated. So you have to stand up for what is the larger right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if somebody who's innocent or somebody who wants to surrender is being eliminated only because someone wants a medal or somebody wants to media attention, that is wrong. In that case, that's not in the larger interest of society. Because if people have power to kill somebody and eliminate somebody, then society won't maintain equilibrium. So what I believe firmly is what is in the larger interest of society that I must stand up for.
Well, you spoke about spirituality and then religion. Both are intertwined yet very separate. And in today's world, where the youth is much aware, they go ahead and take their own decisions of what to believe and what not to. But there's also political involvement in religion. So can you share your insights on this? Because it is confusing for people out there. And when you mix both of these, there is a damage also which is done and which we can see. All of us can see. We're not blind as citizens of India.
Yeah, so politics without spirituality, I think, is wrong. I think politics must involve spirituality. But what is the spirituality that it should involve? Let's get down to that. Should the spirituality be hate or unmasked by hate, of boycotting somebody, of calling a community names, of running down a community, of spreading division between communities, of getting behind people on food choices, behind women on dress choices, people who have different sexual orientations on their sexual choices? Or should the spirituality be about evolving people and evolving as a society? So politics should not be devoid of spirituality, but spirituality should not be used as a mask to spread religious hatred or other sorts of hatred, caste-based hatred. Very clear on that. You cannot use spirituality to oust somebody as a mask. True spirituality is, can we raise a community? Can all of us together as Indians and then as human beings come together for a larger cause? And what is that larger cause? That larger cause is giving every single Indian that is born the same opportunity that my son today is getting. And I have a son who's 18 months old. And I often ask myself, I'm so privileged and I live in gratitude that I have so much. But why should my son have a head start to other kids? Just because he's born to me? Why shouldn't every child get that same opportunity, irrespective of where that child is born? That is the duty of India, to give every child that same opportunity. Should give every senior citizen the same healthcare that my mother gets. Why should it be different? It is the duty of ours as a nation to do that. That is our spiritual goals. Our spiritual goal is to create a society that is equal. That's what Ram Rajya was. And then people progress ahead based on merit.
Yeah.
So I'm not against people being rich. I am not against people progressing ahead. But that should be based on merit, not based on who is born to whom. That is not why it should be.
Yeah.
Yes, if you're born to a certain parents, of course you will have a certain advantage. I am not denying that. And that also is a part of karma, and that's great. But as a society, our duty should be every child should get the same amount of healthcare, nutrition, education. Every senior citizen should get the same. Every Indian must get equality before the law. Why should some people get privileges and some people not? That I am against. Spirituality is treating people equally, and then based on merit, people go ahead. And then let the best man, best woman, best gender win. I am for that. That should be based on meritocracy. And spirituality is about meritocracy. It's not about privileges. I'm against privileges. I think privileges should be taken away. So that's my thing. So India must evolve, in my opinion, and politics must evolve to give Indians and fellow Indians an opportunity to grow, to go further as a society and as a nation. Why should we all be a nation that is living on government support? Why can't we be a very rich nation where every Indian is rich? The per capita income is about $2,200. It's not very high. But you remove the top 20, 30% and the per capita income is $700. That's equivalent to African countries. Why should there be such a big gap between the richest people in India and the poorest? Spirituality is bridging this gap. Now, I'm not a socialist. I'm actually for private enterprise, but I think we should be a welfare state. The Scandinavian countries are all welfare states.
Happy countries.
They're the happiest countries in the world. They are welfare states. We are duty bound to make sure that our citizens are happy, our citizens progress. And that is my politics and my spirituality. There is no difference between my politics and my spirituality. It must be based on happiness and growth of society as a large. Let me give you another example. As a society, we know that while coming here, I just saw there was a car that was on the wrong side of the road. The car knows that it's on the wrong side of the road. Every single human being, irrespective of his or her political affiliation, knows that the car on the wrong side of the road is wrong. Yet the car driver chooses to be on the wrong side of the road because he thinks that by going on this side, rather than taking the whole turn, he's saving himself time. Which is all right. But what happens when everybody comes down on the wrong side of the road? You're going to create a bigger traffic mess and thereby impact society as a whole. Because that entire road, which is a one-way, now is stuck in a jam, and the whole purpose of that one-way is broken, and everybody's stuck in a jam because everybody's doing the wrong thing. So everybody thinks individually I will benefit, but society as a whole does not benefit because now this road has a jam. So why can't we think collectively as a society rather than think individually for our benefit? Now, I'm not saying that we should not benefit. We should benefit. But that should be based on merit and within a fair play. One car going on the wrong side of the road is not fair play because everyone else is taking the right road. So there must be fair play. So politics must have fair play, and spirituality is about fair play. I'm all for that. But let the rules be fair for everyone. You can't have different rules for different people. That's unacceptable to me.
I'm going to take away quite a few things from here. But like you said, you have very strong opinions when it comes to spirituality. And you have very strong opinions how spirituality can be a very good support to politics. But how did your journey start as a spiritual person? And you also mentioned about your son. Did it change after that, after becoming a father?
Yeah, more spiritual, yes. More responsible. This morning, I was visualizing how I want Zulu to see me in 2026, 2029, and 2034. I was visualizing it this morning. So yes, it did change. But I want to be more responsible towards him. But I don't care if he doesn't come first in class. I want him to be a better human being, an empathetic human being. I don't care if he is not the best in maths or you have AI to solve that. And you'll have technology to solve that. I want him to be the best as a human being, to empathize with people, to have humanity, to care about people, which he is. He's a very caring kid, and I want that. I want his growth to be there. So I hope I can give that to him. But how did my journey in spirituality begin? I think I was always spiritual. I don't know, but I started meditating, and I do meditate every morning at 4 a.m. I wake up at 4 and I meditate. And I've had certain experiences, various experiences. I'll give you an example just recently. I was at the Paul's coffee shop at the Copa Mall, right? And I communicate very often with Guruji. There are a lot of people follow Guruji. I've been very privileged to go through his ashram a few times and also his samadhi. And I've been very privileged. I know all of them there. So I'm sitting in this coffee shop at Paul's, and I get this rose smell, which is Guruji smell. And he tells me, a bhakt of mine is walking in, just tell her everything will be okay. Is inside and tell her everything will be okay. This happened now, about 2 weeks ago. So I'm on this side of the coffee shop, and that side, the only women there now, which is the bhakt. So I'm like, okay, Guruji, that's cool, I'll tell her, but which woman do I go and talk to? And he's like, whichever you want is the...
Okay.
And I walk up to the woman and say, are you a follower of Guruji? She says, yes. And I've written a note for her. I didn't even write my number or my name on it. Just wrote a note for her. You've asked Guruji for something, it'll be delivered to you. This happened now 2 weeks ago. I'll tell you something else. I've met Brahma ji. I've had Brahma ji telling me to come to Pushkar and spend time with him. So that's happened. So I've had these experiences where I find being able to connect to the energy.
Yeah. I guess spirituality is just, as human beings having the highest power of what we can do. And all of this existed before. Like when you look at all these scriptures, telepathy and all of this, it was always there.
True.
I guess somewhere we are all, जैसे बोलते हैं ना कलयुग आ गया तो हम लोग सब अपना बुद्धि खो बैठे हैं.
That's true.
Otherwise, as humans, we are very powerful. Like you said, connecting with the energies or having that aura around you.
True.
And you know that spiritual people have that certain aura. You know when they walk in, that they get that positivity, that glow within them. Do you
That's
agree
true.
with this?
Totally. In fact, if you look at the Mahabharata, Dhritarashtra and Kunti, they were shown the Mahabharata, Dhritarashtra shown the Mahabharata live as it was happening. He wasn't even there.
Yeah.
So we do know, or if you even see Lord Ganesha, the head,
Yes.
when Shiva cut off Vinayaka's head. So we do know that we possessed this knowledge.
Yeah.
This knowledge is there. Even if we were to say that, listen, this is mythology. The fact that somebody could visualize this so many years ago.
Yeah.
So when you say that Ravan had a plane, right, the Pushpak Vimana, I say, look, but how did he have a plane? There's no scientific evidence, maybe. But the fact that somebody could visualize a plane then.
It existed.
How do you know? What was the Brahmastra? It's nuclear fusion.
Yeah.
So we have this knowledge. And today's science, particularly quantum, is based on Indian mythology, is based on Indian science, is based on our Vedas, is based on our culture. We know that, we knew that time is not equal everywhere. We knew this.
Absolutely.
Time is not a constant. It didn't require Einstein to tell us that. Yes, Einstein told us that, and we get it. But we did know it. Greatest theory, E is equal to mc square, right?
Yeah.
That's his greatest theory, right? Now think of this in context of the Mahabharata, and I'll tell you a story. E is energy, mass, and velocity, speed. E is equal to mc square. That's Einstein's greatest theory, which is the basis of physics. Now there's a war between Arjun and Karan going on. And every time Arjun hits Karan goes back, right? Every time Karan hits Arjun, he goes a few feet behind, and Krishna is praising Karan, and Arjun's very angry. He says, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
And Krishna says, listen, I'm sitting here and still he's pushing you that way.
Yes.
That is E is equal to mc square.
Yes.
The energy, the mass, and the velocity, it's right there. It is right there. Had Krishna not been there, Arjun would have been blown off. And the entire balance changes with one thing. And today we have Einstein giving that to us in theory, and I'm not denying it. But that already existed. We knew that. It's there in our scriptures. Yeah. And the only reason Karan couldn't do that to Arjun was because Krishna was sitting there and Hanumanji's flag was up there.
Yeah.
So we now know that this happens. This is in our books. If only we decoded it.
Absolutely. I guess we as Indians in today's day and age, we wait for the Western people to tell us what is right and wrong, whereas it is in our roots, on our land, that everything was discovered and everything is existing still.
That's true. And I'm not against Western science. I am a product of Western science,
Absolutely.
Right? If I were to fall sick, I would want to be in the best hospital. I'm not denying any of that. And they have done a phenomenal job of documenting things,
right,
of having it data-driven. But I'm saying a lot of what today's quantum is or future is will be based on our books. Why can't we data-drive it? Why can't we have data-driven processes, thereby helping our citizens and the world evolve?
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, you have a Shiva statue, the Nataraja outside the CERN,
Yeah.
which says that Shiva's dance led to the creation of the universe. What is Shiva's dance? It is the Tandav. It is the bang. And we now know the Big Bang did happen.
Yes.
We can see the Big Bang that happened 13.8 billion years ago. We can see it live today because that's how long a light takes to come today.
Yeah.
That is science. But what we saw the Big Bang today is Shiva's dance. We know Shiva's Tandav creates a bang. Why don't we apply our science to it? That's all I'm trying to say. When it's there, it's outside that laboratory where the particles are colliding. Why can't we see it there? So this is our knowledge as well. And it is duty bound that we tap into this knowledge, research upon this, and not everything will come out correctly. We will make mistakes, we will make error. But the fact that somebody could, even if it's mythology, but I do believe it's true, think that Shiva could replace Vinayaka's head with Ganesha's head and replace it with a head, talks about the possibility of surgery.
Yeah.
Even if it's not true scientifically, or there is no data to back it up, the fact that somebody could visualize that is phenomenal. And I think that is kudos to what we had.
Yeah.
And I do believe it's true.
Yeah, I guess somebody corrected me in one of the episodes. Don't call it mythology. It is true. It has happened. We have the proof. We have the evidence. We have the temples.
We do. In fact, when the Mahabharata war happened, the great war of Kurukshetra, the male genes went down.
Yeah.
There is evidence of that. So we now know during the period of the Great War, where so much of mankind was killed, and I think mankind in gender male,
Yes.
we know that the X chromosomes did go down. We know now there's a dip. We've seen footprints of Hanumanji.
Absolutely.
There are various places. So we got to own up to what we have. This is our culture. We got to own up to it. And I have met great Aghoris. I've met great Yogis. I met an Aghori who's over 200 years old. They just live in their own room. I've seen Yogis who are in the Himalayas. They wear nothing in that snow. And now we have a few videos of them.
Yeah.
There's so many of them hidden in the snow. How? Because yoga can teach you how your body can adapt to everything. We've seen great yogis. We now know yogis can walk on water, the great yogis. In fact, there is a theory. There isn't much about Jesus Christ's life documented at certain years. We now know that Jesus Christ also came to India and learned yoga.
Wow.
That's a theory. But Jesus Christ could walk on water. We know that yogis can walk on water. We know Jesus Christ did come to India. And he may have got so much knowledge from India and given his knowledge and blessings to India. Look at what we have. Look at the knowledge we have.
I guess even with Mahabharata, there's a theory that it was test tube babies, or that is how it was, the 100 sons.
That's how it was. So again, even if it's not documented as science or data, the fact that somebody could think of pots and babies and tubes is a fact and testimony to the fact how ahead we were scientifically.
Crazy.
And that's brilliant.
Stunning.
Yeah.
I guess this is a very long conversation if we keep talking, or if we continue to talk about India and how we have evolved as human beings. Well, I would like to take a quick break here and give you a few questions, and I want you to just tell whether you are going to keep those things or break it.
Okay, done.
The Indian education system.
Break it, smash it and throw it in the dustbin. Where is the spirituality in our education system? Education devoid of spirituality is terrible. We must teach our kids spirituality. Particularly, we must teach in our education system the Gita to the kids.
Yeah, I guess also finance, emotional intelligence, all of these we were never taught.
Especially for kids, especially for women, financial education and investing and how to the power of compounding, all of that.
Yeah, because when you look at the families, it's the men who take decisions of where to invest, what to do, what stocks to buy. I know it's changing, but I guess it needs to change.
And it should be empowered right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Financial education, accounting, basic accounting, and spirituality. These three things should be taught in the education system. Also, I think men should also be taught how to behave with women.
That's going to be a longer conversation.
That's a long
I'm going to come back
they
to
should
you
be
with
taught,
that. Okay, youth and politics.
I think youth in politics is a great idea. I think the youngsters are phenomenal in India. I think they're so aware, as we rightly spoke. Just watch less reels, do less reels, and just stand up for what's right. I think youth in politics is phenomenal. Everywhere changes happen, the youth make changes. So I think youth in politics is a great idea. I love it. Plus, tired of our country being run by 70, 80-year-olds, no?
Uneducated.
So I'm not a big thing. Education doesn't really fine. I think grounding and knowledge makes more difference. Education, somebody may have tiring circumstances and not get educated. A degree doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
But what does matter is knowledge.
Yeah.
But yeah, more youngsters. Definitely more youngsters in politics.
In for it.
Yeah.
I hope the youth is listening.
Yeah. And I hope the old people retire.
Okay. Reservation system in India.
Must.
Yeah.
Absolutely a must.
Right.
Because you see, for years, the SC community, the OBC community, the ST community has been discriminated against. This is about 4,000 or 5,000 years. It's only now that they're starting to get the fruits of reservation. Even now, if you look at the SC community, let me just take the example of the SC community or the ST community. Let's look at, say, Uttar Pradesh, for example. How many superintendents of police are from the SC community posted in districts and important districts? You'll find not equivalent to their population. How many chief justices of the Supreme Court are from the SC community? Yet one, Justice Krishna. Since then, they've not. So, how many vice chancellors in Central University or state universities are from the SC community? They all become professors. Why don't they become vice chancellors? That last mile is not being broken. I do believe firmly, how many news anchors at 9 o'clock are from the SC community? The fact is, if they're talented enough to be reporters, they're talented enough to be journalists or to be professors, why aren't they becoming vice chancellors? That last mile is still not broken. I'm not talking about the exception. I'm talking about the norm. If there is X population of theirs, why isn't there a proportional representation of theirs as vice chancellors or justices? Let's look at the High Court chief justices right now. How many of them are SC? Not equivalent to their representation.
Yes.
And why? If they're capable enough of being judges, why can't they be chief justices? That's the problem. That last ceiling is not being broken. How many DGPs in India are SC? I don't think any, or maybe one. Or why? That is why it is important that they be given the affirmative action. It is extremely important that they be given the affirmative action, because for 5,000 years we've discriminated against them. It is our duty as a society to do affirmative action so that they come ahead. And they break that last ceiling. Once that's broken, once that last ceiling is broken, we have to reconstitute what happens. But socially, for 5,000 years, they've been discriminated. Today, a lot of the popular argument is, look, do you trust a doctor, for example, who's from the SC community or who's come through reservation? That's an argument that's made from the reservation system. That's an argument. Do you trust a doctor who's come through reservation? No, because the doctor's still giving the same exam and becoming a doctor. The only thing that reservation does is enables him or her to get into the system.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
And if they really have it, they'll get it.
They do. So there is no bias. It just helps them come in. And we need to get more of them in so that we create a better and equal society.
Social media as a political tool.
Great, but WhatsApp University must be under check.
I agree to that, because I guess my mom constantly keeps sending these messages, and there's so much like fake videos. There was so much happening in Bangladesh. There were so many fake videos around that. So that little awareness is important.
Especially with the advent of AI.
Yeah.
And then the fake videos. Yeah. And WhatsApp uncles and aunties in RWAs and societies need to just shut up and stop spreading everything. Just relax. Everything is not true that's on WhatsApp.
Yeah. Politics in Bollywood.
Politics. It's more entertaining than Bollywood. Certainly has better scripted than Bollywood. Certainly has more action than Bollywood. Certainly is more impactful and meaningful than Bollywood. And certainly it sometimes is more glamorous than Bollywood. So politics, without doubt.
Yeah, okay.
But the Indian film industry, I don't like Bollywood. I like the Indian film industry overall.
As a cinema, as art.
But art is very important.
Yeah. Because I guess they have a huge influence on the masses, and the right messaging really helps.
Also, it helps India's soft power. Yeah. I think Indian film industry is a great export worldwide, along with yoga. Yeah. It really brands India's soft image.
Yeah. So, I guess the kind of employment that cinema creates, Guess I heard around 1,700 films in a year.
That's true. I remember I was in Tanzania, in Dar es Salaam, and the only Hindi song they sang was Shah Rukh Khan. And everywhere we go, they go like Shah Rukh Khan, Shah Rukh Khan. Wherever I've gone, Shah Rukh Khan, Amitabh, huge. He's been such brand ambassadors for India. So Gandhi and Nehru have obviously been, and I think in modern days it's been Shah Rukh. He's such a brand ambassador for the Indian film industry globally.
Absolutely.
Mind blowing. It's crazy how many people love him abroad, and everybody abroad has heard of Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how
Yes,
it
even
works.
Rajnikant.
Rajnikant.
People
as well,
celebrate him.
It's Rajnikant, Shah Rukh Khan, Bachchan Saab. I think it's a phenomenal brand ambassadors for India as a whole. Yeah. So I love the film industry, but politics for me.
Okay. Censorship in movies, basically to a level where the Padmavat incident happened. Or I know that certain censorship is important.
It's not.
No?
No.
Not at all?
Not at all. You don't like a movie? Get out of the theater. Don't like a book? Shut the book. Don't like a painting? Leave the art gallery. Censorship is unacceptable in a democratic society. If you don't like a movie, make another movie to counter it. I'm sorry. We cannot be a country that censors. That's not acceptable.
But don't you think it's largely censored? Everything is micromanaged.
And therefore we got to evolve, right? How long are we going to censor? Why should we censor? If somebody's made a movie, you don't like it, that's fine. Make another movie to beat it. Somebody wrote a book, you don't like it, write another book on facts.
But what about the influence on the masses? Because people really believe it and perceive, and then they put it in action.
So make another movie and make a better movie so the masses get influenced by that. Don't stop people from watching. I'm not for that. You don't like a painting, get out of the gallery.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm against this culture of boycotting movies, burning books, hurting artists. No. We are a free country. And we must. Art is the gateway to change. The greatest movements in the world have happened when artists have come together and have portrayed art. Art is the gateway to the world. And an artist sees so much more than what you and I see. Yeah. So we must encourage art. Art's duty bound to make you uncomfortable. Art is duty bound to raise questions. Art is duty bound to ask you things. How else would we evolve if it wasn't for art? No, I'm against censorship. Any form of censorship. Don't like it, don't watch it. That's fine. Don't go about telling other adults what to do.
Yeah.
Yes, but I am for age restriction. Yes, age appropriateness.
Yes, obviously.
But no, don't tell adults what to do. I'm sorry. I'm not for that.
Yeah, because I guess there was a lot of controversy around the movie Animal, the way women were showed or the violence and all. And then a lot of them came out speaking that as a movie is mat banao.
Yeah, it was patriarchal. But you see, again, I haven't seen the movie. I did hear about it. I did hear a few scenes which I thought were repulsive.
Yeah.
On a side note, I also believe they wanted to send that to the Oscars. Like, what were they smoking? Like, who was smoking? What does want that movie to go? But I believe it's a big hit. Yeah. That's also a reflection of how people are, right?
The mindset.
But listen, if everybody thought this was stupid, the movie wouldn't have worked. If it didn't work, they wouldn't make something like that again.
Absolutely.
Or go ahead and make another movie that shows how women must be treated. But look, I think I haven't seen the movie. I'm quite, from what I've heard, I think it's quite a patriarchal movie. And I'm not for it, but I'm also not for banning it.
Yeah.
I just think if you want to make a very feminist movie, go ahead and make it. Yeah. Ultimately, the market forces decide. And I think it's terrible that the market forces did decide this. I think it's even more terrible that somebody was smoking something and they did think of wanting to send this to the Oscars. Yeah. Thankfully, wisdom dawned upon them and not saying this.
Well, I guess
I believe that the thing of Bobby Deol putting that on the head. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah.
Online votings.
I'm not a fan.
No.
Because anything online can be manipulated. Anything that has the internet can be manipulated and can be weaponized. Yeah. The internet can be weaponized. We've seen that right now. Israel do that with the Hezbollah. Anything that has the internet can be weaponized. And there isn't enough systems right now to prevent voter fraud. I am one for absolute traditional methods because it is the most holiest thing that requires sanctity, the voting system. It's the basis of democracy. How do you ensure foreign powers don't hijack it, don't break your firewalls, etc., etc.? There'll always be somebody who will have better technology than you. Technology changes in a matter of seconds today, not even a matter of minutes. Yeah. How do you know that your system isn't being hijacked? There is simply no way to know it. So no, I'm not a fan of it.
Okay. Public spendings on religious events.
I do think we should. I think the state should.
I guess I love Ganpati, especially in Pune.
I'm biased, so it's okay.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to Ganpati.
Yeah.
We should spend more.
Yeah.
It gets people together. But
Absolutely.
I'm not for the government spending on religious events to make it hate-filled. So for example, I'm so grateful that the whole Kavar Yatra happens so beautifully. But then when you try and discriminate against people based on religion,
Yeah.
where the Uttar Pradesh government tried to do, that's not cool. We have the Yatra in Pune also, right?
Yeah.
Where the Varkaris go.
Absolutely. Ekadashi.
Ekadashi. We've never seen hate here. Everyone participates.
Yeah.
It's a celebration. There's music, there's celebration, there is happiness, there's Hindus, Muslims, Christians. Everyone's in that. I've done it.
Yeah.
So there's no hate. Why would you turn something so beautiful into something for political agenda? So politicians need to stay out of it. And learn
Politics
from
and-
Pune.
I
Yeah.
agree. Because we all love Christmas. Like
Yeah.
we go to FC Road to
It's
celebrate
there.
Ganpati's again. I guess the whole world should come to Pune to experience Ganesh Chaturthi.
That's true. Or the Yatra.
Yeah.
The Ekadashi Yatra.
Yeah.
Look at how beautifully it's done. And everyone's participating. It's a celebration. It's a festival. There's no hate there. And Muslims are giving food. Muslims are giving water. Christians are doing it. Sikhs are doing it. It's so beautiful. Why would you do something that's so hateful in Uttar Pradesh? And the Kavar Yatra is such a beautiful thing. These people are so amazing. Why does the government want to intervene and do politics there? So that's my problem with it.
Now, talking about youth, they're unaware, they're disconnected. Some people don't even care about what's happening in their country, be it the government, be it the politics. Many of them, I guess, don't even go to vote out there. What is your advice to the youth of India, the Gen Z also, why they should have a say, why they should be aware of what is happening?
Not just Gen Z, Gen Alpha as well.
Absolutely.
Because I think it's very difficult how we got our independence. The sacrifices Gandhi and Nehru and Patel and Maulana Azad made for our independence. And they gave us the greatest document, the Constitution of India. It's the greatest document ever. If we don't guard it with our lives, it is so easy to go from a progressive nation to a fascist nation. Look at Afghanistan 30, 40 years ago. Look at Iran in the 70s. And look at where they are today. It is so easy to fall down that rat hole. So easy. We have to guard the Constitution with our life. Democracy is not easy. It is an evolving process. It changes every day. But the one thing that must remain constant is to guard the freedoms that we've got with a lot of struggle. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy for Gandhi to fight. He was fighting an empire. The British were very mighty. They ruled over. The sun would never set in the British Empire. And here was one frail old man with a lathi walking, going to the governor's house and sitting there with his little dabba. Says, I will sit on the floor because my fellow Indians sit like that. Wearing his dhoti and going to meet the King and Queen of England. They said, you have to go in a suit. He says, boss, my Indians are dressed like this. I'm going with this. Wasn't easy, the sacrifices they made. Nehru spent 9 to 10 years in jail. It wasn't easy. Can't let these people down. You can't let them down. The first 3 words of our constitution are we the people. Hum Bharat ke log. It's not God. It's not president, prime minister, leader of opposition, chief justice, chief minister. It is we the people. These people gave us we the people. We the people are supreme. Why should we let it down? That is what we fought for. We fought for we the people. That is ours. We cannot let them down. It is our duty to safeguard it. And it is so easy to change it. And therefore, we have to stand up and guard these freedoms that we've got after a lot of sacrifice. It's very important to do that. And therefore, it is duty bound for the youngsters to understand that. And that sacrifices we've made. And stand up to guard it. Never let it down.
I also know that you read a lot.
Yeah.
Any books that you would suggest to the youth of today?
Read whatever, but do read it. Don't read mobile phones. Please, don't read WhatsApp. Just read any book. Because the thing about reading is, all right, I'm not going to get into deep reading. The thing about reading is it keeps your brain active.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the more your brain is active, the more you can question. Why do governments not want you to question? Because the one thing governments fear the most, even the people who are the most tyrannical or who indulge in tyranny, fear the most is questions.
Yeah.
The minute you read, you'll ask questions. And the minute you ask questions, governments are answerable. No matter how much you're dictatorial or you're authoritarian, they fear questions. So read to ask questions. It's okay to ask the wrong questions. There's nothing wrong in asking the wrong questions. But ask questions. That is the basis of who we are. We must ask. In fact, the entire Indian culture is based on asking questions. Right? We all ask questions. Arjun asked Krishna, should I fight or no? We all have asked questions. That's the basis of our culture. So we must.
Okay, so now I see you active out there, talking the truth, not being fearful, not being scared, out there talking what is right.
Yeah.
Does it scare you or your family? Are there threats? And you're also active on social media.
Yeah.
It's the world of internet. Everybody, anybody is, open to criticism. How do you face that? And do you face it on a regular basis? Does that make you feel sad or insecure, or like makes you feel feared?
No, your boy never gets insecure. No. But yeah, the threats are a lot. I've had the Quadegaon Park police had caught a few years ago somebody who came to throw acid on me.
Oh gosh.
Recently also there have been a spate of threats. I did a podcast with these guys, Karan and Badal, in Gurugram. And one guy reached there to want to blow me up.
Okay.
So he was asking for my address. There's been an attempt to break in my office in Delhi, caught on camera. Recently, there was a threat of somebody saying, if you say things on TV, we'll shoot you. So these threats keep happening. They don't scare me. Nothing scares me. I never get scared. I'm the most peaceful guy. I don't want to fight. I want to be chill. I want to live my life. But I always say something that my dad said. And I think it was said recently in a podcast, but I love seeing it. I am not a gardener in war. I'm a warrior in a garden. But yeah, threats come and doesn't bother me. It simply doesn't bother me.
And trolling?
Yeah, I love it. Why will somebody troll me? They'll troll me because I'm famous, right?
Yeah. I like how calm you are, at the same time you're aggressive.
Yeah, so that's the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
I'm very calm, but I know where to hit you. So don't try my patience. And I will hit you where it hurts. I always tell people, I take a nuclear weapon to a bullet fight. You try hitting me with a bullet, I will nuke the hell out of you.
Yeah.
So don't provoke me. I'm away. I'm very peaceful. Let me be.
But do you scare people? Do people get scared by you?
Or when I'm assert, when they cross the line and then I won. Yeah. I tend not to. I tend to walk away from fights and conflicts. I always walk away. It is my first rule to walk away. I don't want to fight. I don't want conflicts.
Now let's speak about two very prominent and important leaders to our country, Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Number one, I want you to tell people, who is he and why is he an important person to the country right now?
Because he's the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha. He's also the principal figure in the opposition. I think the Rahul Gandhi that I know is a very kind, empathetic guy. Is very, very sweet. Is very well-read. He does have a certain ideology and principle he firmly believes and stands by. And I have mad respect for him. Mad respect. I mean, it's not easy to walk 6,000 kilometers from the south of India to the north of India and then do east of India to west of India. It's not easy to go there and, walk 25 kilometers a day, meeting diverse people, sun, wind, rain. He's done that. The guy is phenomenal. He knows what he's saying. He has a vision for India. You can agree, disagree with his vision, and that's fine. That's democracy. But he's a nice guy. He's really nice and he's really empathetic. He's also seen so much tragedy in life. He's been through so much. So I think that's made him so much stronger. He's so evolved. He's very evolved as a person, as a human being. I love that. He's one of the most well-read people that I know of. He is. I don't agree with all his political people around him at times.
Yeah.
But I do agree that he has his heart in the right place. And his heart is for the betterment of India. I do believe that very firmly.
Now let's speak about the Modi government, the government that is ruling, the government that is taking India ahead. They claim that they are the ones who have created the change, brought in the right kind of democracy, uplifting the right people, be it the youth, the startups, or be it women, and from demonetization to Ram Mandir to building a bridge to everything. But there's still a lot of criticism around it. And what I hear people is, अच्छा politics में इतना power पे रहना मतलब थोड़ी चीजें करनी पड़ती है. But I want to know your perception about this.
So, like I said, no prime minister is bad for India. I don't believe anyone's bad for India. From Nehru to Modi ji, I think everybody has had a vision for India. And by and large, you can agree, disagree with the vision.
Yeah.
Hindsight's always 2020, but demonetization was a disaster, was a complete disaster. And you cannot play with people's money. I'm sorry, you could be the prime minister, you have no right to do it. It's the RBI's domain. And I humbly disagree with what the Supreme Court ruled it correctly. I'm sorry, it was wrong. It was not the domain of the government to demonetize. Having said that, I think the government has done a couple of things that are right. Removing Article 370, the resolution of the Ram Mandir, those things I'm happy about. But what I worry about this government, and I think the people of India answered that in 2024, was the authoritarian regime. It was so authoritarian that it would decide what it wanted and just pass through legislation in parliament, bulldoze it. It can't do that anymore. The people of India reduced them from a majority to less than a majority. Now they're 240.
Close fight.
Yeah, and therefore, as a result of which, I do think we are now stronger as a democracy. I do think that authoritarianism is removed. I think dialogue and discussion is great in democracy.
Yeah.
What I like about the Modi government is our foreign relationships with the US, Russia, Ukraine, the global south, the Middle East, phenomenal. But again, our neighborhood, they've more or less failed. Again, what I like about them is they removed Article 370. They've been assertive on certain things. Manipur is burning. They've been able to do nothing about it. So there are always pros and cons, good and bad, right and wrong. But I'm not a BJP supporter, but I'm glad that the authoritarianism's come down. The worst thing about this government, the worst, is that tax. This government does not understand finance. With respect to the finance minister, she doesn't understand finance. The bureaucrats are running the show. Just look at GST. It's a mess. It's a goddamn mess. What are we doing? Instead of simplifying taxation, we've complicated it. We're going after people. There's almost tax terrorism. From everything is being taxed. Your oxygen पे GST है. Health insurance पे GST है. Someone told me loan के ऊपर GST है. GST के ऊपर cess के ऊपर GST. What the hell is going on? You put money, short-term there's tax, long-term gains there's tax. Where after paying tax, I have invested my money. On that there is tax. On that there is penalty. What is going on? You can't just.
But do you think that's the reason why there's a increasing gap between the rich and the poor?
There's an increase in gap between the rich and poor because the economic policies of this government are not correct. Now, I'm against socialism. I'm one for capitalism, but welfareism.
Yeah.
I think this government is not empowering people enough to be rich. I think this government is completely, the policies are tailor-made for a few people to prosper, and therefore a large section of people are not prospering. And then the people below, they're getting whatever government support, but that's not helping them prosper. I think, and I think Joe Biden said this brilliantly, that crony capitalism is equal to extortion. I think we need to be a country where there is equal competition and let the best company win. Contracts should not go to companies because they're close to the government. Contracts should go based on capabilities. And yes, while we celebrate the startup culture in India, please understand, a lot of the fintechs, a lot of the AI startups are being registered in Dubai today.
Why?
Exactly. Because there's a policy paralysis here. The government doesn't know what it has to do. Look at your HNIs, the amount of HNIs that have moved to Dubai. Everyone. Dubai is a cleaner Mumbai and a cleaner Delhi today. Why? Everyone has a house in Dubai who's about 100 crores. Why? That is the problem. This government doesn't have a solid economic policy. That is the biggest problem. They don't know how to make everyone progress. Welfareism is a must. But at the same time, capitalism is important and fair competition. You have so many GST tax rates.
Everything.
It's confusing.
Yeah.
It's confusing. Someone was telling me car is 18%, but tires is 28%. Like, what? And seat is 28%. Like, try giving me a car without a seat. What is this? You have to be simple, right? You can't be so confusing.
I guess there's so much confusion that ends up to corruption also somewhere.
Yeah. So there is tax terrorism which is happening, and that's why a lot of people are moving away.
Yeah.
So we need to be simple taxes, simplify the tax structure, get more people in the tax net, reduce our tax rates. See, today, somebody like me who's in the 30% tax bracket plus and 18% GST on an average, to spend 100 rupees, somebody like me has to earn 150, 155 rupees. And I have no problem paying that 55 rupees if I get out of this building and a car hits me, there's an ambulance that picks me up in 2 minutes. That won't happen, right? I still have to go to a private hospital.
Yeah.
Right? I still have to pay the doctor upfront or my insurance or whatever to get treatment at a private hospital. There won't be government support if a car hits me outside your gate.
Yeah.
So I don't mind paying that 50 rupees as tax as long as my poor citizens also get the benefit, and I also get the benefit of great hospitalization. I'm talking about very basic stuff. I'm not even talking about the most complicated. I'm saying at least give me basic services.
Yeah.
This is the potholes outside your building. So you're making me spend, to spend 100 rupees, I'm earning 150, but I'm getting nothing. Nor are my fellow citizens who deserve it getting anything. I don't mind paying for them. So at least then what I suggest is get the tax breakdown, make it simple, reduce the tax rates, get more people in the tax net, and let's build a better society.
Yeah.
This is so unfair to some people who are earning, and all the burden keeps coming on them. Now, the poor also pay taxes. Everybody pays GST, right? So everyone's paying taxes. But again, what are they getting?
Nothing.
They're not getting anything. You buy a simple matchbox, you buy this cup, there's a GST on this.
Yeah.
So the poorest of poor is also paying it. They're also paying GST, they're also paying taxes. But we're not getting anything in return. We have to make our tax collection in consonance and in proportion to our population and what we're giving them. It just can't be intake, right? The government has to give something for us. And those things have to be of value that help improve the quality of life. So mothers must get nutrition. Mothers who are lactating must get nutrition. Children must get protein. They must get basic education, correct education. These are the things that this must be spent on. Yeah. We're not doing it. That's the problem.
Basic sanitary.
Parents,
yeah, nothing.
Look, are there toilets for women outside?
No.
But we've done this whole Swachh Bharat thing, so we build the most number of toilets. But if you want to go to a toilet on the road, will you be able to?
I wait until I reach home, or I wait until I reach to the hotel, and then
and you're privileged, so you can go to a hotel. Yeah. Can a poor woman go to a hotel? That's my problem. That is my problem. You may build some toilet somewhere here on this road, but nobody can use it.
Not at all.
Because it's unhygienic. The woman will end up getting a UTI. So where's my tax money gone? I am for women having toilets. I do want that because women suffer because women don't have safe spaces to go. So it's a great idea.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister's idea of building toilets was a great idea. Except right on this road, you will not find, you yourself admit, and your viewers will admit there are no toilets. And because most of your viewers are privileged, they will go to a hotel or a restaurant or a supermarket or perhaps even buy something and go to a toilet. That's fine. But that comes from privilege. What does the poor do? Or they end up getting UTI.
I suddenly feel that, we should be grateful of where we are because we have the basics.
Correct. So why should you have access to a toilet and not a poor woman? Now, I'm paying 150 rupees for the 100 rupees I want to spend. So I'm spending the 50 rupees. But at least give that woman a toilet, that poor woman. At least create an equal society. At least usme corruption mat karo, na? That's the point that I'm trying to raise on taxes.
Yeah. I guess हमारे यहाँ हर साल रोड बनता है, but पता नहीं क्यों हर साल फिर रोड खराब भी हो जाता है.
They'll make the road, then they'll dig the road to put the cables in, then they'll make the road again. And there is technology available for the roads to last.
Yeah, longer.
But we don't do it.
Even about hospitalization, I don't know why this comes up in every other podcast. like 6 months ago, my dad had a brain stroke, and we took him to the nearest government hospital, and they said observation mein rakhna and all. Now you trust the doctors, right? But because the CT scan machine was not working, they delayed it for almost 8-9 hours. And then his vitals went down. He was on a ventilator. We took him to a private hospital. Again, because I was privileged, I could take him to a private hospital and get him operated. But then why the delay?
But that's what I'm saying. A CT scan today is basic.
Yeah.
Why should people not have access to that when we are ready to pay our taxes?
We are doing it.
And that's what I'm trying to say. That is what we have to fight for. That is the India we have to create. That no matter who goes to a government hospital, CT scan ठीक हो जाए. उसके बाद it's your choice. You want to go to a private hospital? Please go to the US, the best. Take an air ambulance flight to the US. That is your choice.
Yeah.
But at a government hospital, you must get the same CT scan as you get at a private hospital in the same given time. We must value life, and we must value quality of life. Both of these things, and that's what our tax money should be used at. You think the government understands it? You think Nirmala ma'am understands it? You think those bureaucrats around her understand it?
And I also feel the reason that the government is not able to do quite a few things is because the population is so much. Is that a valid reason?
No. India's total fertility rate is below replacement now. There are 3 or 4 states that are above total fertility rate. States like Maharashtra, Kerala, Assam, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka are at total fertility rate or below. So they're actually doing very well. How many people do you know have 3 children? That's what I'm saying. As a society progresses, you just have 1 or 2. You don't have more. The states that are not doing well on this TFR are UP and Bihar. So my problem is that you bring in policies tailor-made for those states to sort of bring the population and help those people come out of poverty, because that's our duty. They are our fellow citizens. But states like Maharashtra, etc., that are doing very well must be encouraged to continue to maintain that momentum and politically rewarded. What's happening is actually the reverse. With this whole delimitation, and now that they want to do the census, followed by the delimitation, we are scared, or there's a genuine fear amongst western and southern states that we lose our Lok Sabha seats in parliament, because population of ours has been under control. So we've done a good job, and we lose our power, and we're economically powerful. And those states that haven't done a good job, their seats will go up. So I think we have to get that balance very correct, because we are all part of this great country. And my fellow citizens from UP and BR are also my fellow citizens. And they are not, those states are not financially as well off as Maharashtra. So as a Maharashtrian Indian, it is my duty to help a UP Indian or a Bihar Indian. It's my fundamental duty. But you cannot reward Bihar or UP with more seats politically when I've kept my population under control and economically have progressed.
Yeah.
I want to help them. They are my brothers and my sisters and my fellow citizens. And I have to help them progress. It is my duty to do it. But wait. Help them progress and taking away my powers are 2 separate things. Don't touch my powers. Please give them all the powers. Don't touch mine. Don't take away my seats. That's the fear. That's the fear in the delimitation. Maharashtra will lose its seats. Karnataka will lose some seats. Tamil Nadu will lose. So we've all followed what the government of India told us. Keep the population under control.
What do you get in return?
And also, I think, you see what's happened with China with that aging population now? They implemented forcefully the one-child policy.
One child.
Today, China has reversed it. Government should not get into bedrooms. Let people do what they want to do. If they have the money. How many people you know have more than 2 children? I'm asking how many you know.
No, and I don't think so. It's a personal choice also. People want 2 kids, okay, they're happy.
I have 1. I want 2nd. I want to adopt. मुझे चाहिए ही नहीं. Adopt करना है. बस.
Now, quick this or that segment. I'm going to give you 2 options. I want you to select one which you believe in. Okay. Change from within the system or a protest outside.
Within the system.
Free press or regulated media?
Free press. Free press. No question of regulations.
Economic reform or social?
Both are interconnected. You can't choose one or the other.
Okay. Freedom of expression or social responsibility?
Freedom of expression.
Traditional
with social responsibility.
Okay. Traditional politics or youth-led movements?
Youth-led movements.
Politics or career in activism?
Career in politics where I can activate myself to bring about change.
I like that answer. Okay. Work-life balance or hustle culture?
Hustle for the work-life balance.
Okay.
But work-life balance, without doubt.
Yeah.
I want to hustle.
Yeah. I know, because your life fitness, your spirituality as a father, I can see that. Okay. Empowering women or equal gender representation?
Empowering women. What is equal gender? Women are not equal. Even today we kill infanticide because we have infanticide killing because it's a girl child.
Yeah.
What equality is there for women in today in India? Even today it's not there.
Yeah,
First empower them. फिर equal. Empower तो करो.
I guess people have a lot of problem when you're a feminist also. Like, क्या जरूरत है? सब तो मिल रहा है तुमको.
Again, I'm not saying there isn't misuse of what women do. There is.
Yeah.
But look at the overall numbers. So I think empowerment, but also empowerment with certain protections.
Yeah.
But you must empower. You don't look at the women in the workforce. How many women are CEOs today? How many women are chief justices? Again, the same argument goes. So then, empower, no? First give them, let them break the glass ceiling.
Reform the system or a revolution?
Reform. Revolution is sometimes can go out of hand.
Yeah.
Reform.
Well, talking about women, we just spoke about equal rights or empowering women. I, as a woman, I still don't feel that I get the kind of opportunities that men get, or I get questioned for every decision that I make, and I don't feel safe no matter where I go. And after what we see in the news, what happened in Kolkata, every day there's a news about what's happening with women. And I saw this about what Yuvraj Singh said about his ex.
What a joker. What a joker the guy is. Only to get attention.
But people admire him. He's like a legend in cricket. Why say this?
Isn't it crazy? And people admire a joker like him. Look, if you were dating somebody, we know who he was talking about, and we don't want to get into that and whatever. One, you could have just said the whole story without saying it was an actor or whatever. You could just say, look, I was dating somebody and whatever. Second, how stupid are you that she gave you a pink slip? You're in a 5-star hotel. You could have just asked for the hotel slippers and gone to your bus, no? वो hotel के slippers भी होते हैं ना? You could have gone in that, na?
Yeah.
I was wearing pink slip-ons which are 8 number size. Are you stupid? You could have just asked for the hotel for another slipper and gone in that. Your tour team has managers. You could have asked somebody to pick up shoes for you. You said, listen, I packed my shoes by mistake. Just can you pick up shoes for me? There are enough managers who are there on a tour. They would have picked up shoes for you with your size. And you could have just picked her up on the bus. Or you're going the bus to the airport. Airport, you have so many shoes shops. They just picked up you. It's clearly money is not your issue.
Yeah.
You could have just bought shoes at the airport. The guy was just trying to show off that he dated this XYZ celebrity. And that's his existence. His moment of existence. He wanted to go viral. And true, he was trending for 2 days. That is patriarchal. That is cheap. You don't kiss and tell. You don't do that. 3rd grade. Honestly, why would you do that to a woman? Why would you? Even if you dated somebody, it's private, right? Why would you want to put that out in the world?
And at this moment.
And I don't want to talk about the moment because we know who but why would you want to? Because you want attention on social media. You could be dating somebody, things don't work out, and that's fine, and you move on, and she moves on, and life's great. And there's what, 14, 15, 16 years back? When is he talking about? And you're talking about now because you're holding on to it. She's moved on, bro. You're still holding on to it. It reminds me of a story. There was a very senior Buddhist monk walking with his disciples. And he saw a very beautiful woman on the riverbank. Very beautiful, gorgeous. Now, Buddhist monks are supposed to be away from women. This woman wanted help. So the Buddhist monk said, what happened? She said, look, I can't swim. I need to cross the river. So the Buddhist monk says, no problem. He carried on the shoulder and helped her cross the river. On the banks, he put her away and they started walking. The disciple was very disturbed. They walked kilometers. The next day, the disciple was unusually silent. Finally, the next day after walking, the master asked the disciple, what happened? Why are you so silent? Why are you so disturbed? He says, look, we are monks. We're supposed to be away from women. Why did you carry the woman? The monk said, I carried her and I left her there. You are still carrying her right now.
In your head.
And that is what this guy did.
Yeah.
Dude, 15 years ago, it's like an ancient history. Why the F are you talking about it? Because you wanted that attention on social media. And you very well knew you'd get that attention by throwing a hint on who this woman is under the pretext of covering up that you're not taking the woman's name. No, you are being trashy by actually revealing who the woman was. And that's not cool.
But isn't it sad that women of, every stature, be it poor, rich, or even a CEO, or somebody like a Taylor Swift also, even they are facing sexism, criticism, or they are questioned for their choices of what they do, what they speak, what they wear.
True.
When is this going to change?
And that's the problem. What a woman does with her body is her sovereign right. The body is her sovereign right. Why do we men have an opinion on it? Why? Who a woman is with, who a woman is dating, what a woman is wearing, what she's eating, what she's doing is her goddamn business. Why do we men need to be protectors, moral policemen, tell her what to do? Why can't she just do her own thing?
Well, but no matter what happens, no matter where you are as a woman, we don't feel safe, and the statistics prove it. How does the government change it?
The statistics obviously prove it. How many men do you know that are sexually molested? It's obviously the women, right? Yeah, so first, there are two ways. And I love something the Prime Minister did say at Red Fort. He said, don't ask your girls to stay home. Ask your boys to behave themselves. And I think that's good.
Yeah.
That's a great thing. So do I oppose the Prime Minister? That's a great thing, he said. I think the only way to change this is to have conversations in society, starting kindergarten level, where we are taught that men and women are A, equal and have equal rights. B, where men are taught to behave and not occupy space meant for women. I think it is important that conversation becomes a national conversation now. I think it's extremely important. I think women are so much more important to Indian society, and throughout our culture, we've seen the importance of women in society. And I think somewhere down the line, we need to have that discourse again with our kids, with our future generations, with our present, and not indulge in and try and break away from the patriarchy that engulfs us right now. I think it's extremely important to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was a very insightful, interesting. There were moments where I stood back and I was like, hey, yeah, I could change my perception about this.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we are trying to do on this show. Change the perceptions, break the stereotypes, and ask people to come out and voice out their opinions and not be fearful.
And break stereotypes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. All the best. Thank you.
Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep breaking stereotypes.